Thank you, Deputy Speaker. Well, I was scheduled to speak on this bill last night, before yesterday's impromptu 6-hour meeting of the Liberal Party and the National Party coalition room on this question of marriage equality, but that party room meeting caused proceedings in the Federation Chamber to be abandoned. My hard-working staff have prepared an excellent speech full of evidence and logical argument in favour of marriage equality, but this morning I read the comments attributed to Senator Abetz in the other place in the coalition party room last night. His comments that gay men didn't really want to get married and that somehow Dolce & Gabbana were evidence of this. And I thought, forget it. Reading Senator Abetz's comments made me wonder whether he'd ever met a gay man before. So I'm tossing the script and I'm talking about a gay man that I knew. A man that I called my Uncle Derek, but a man who my Uncle Ian was never able to call his husband. I knew Derek through a child's eyes. He was the uncle who did the Christmas planning, making elaborate Christmas wreaths, decorations and wrapping paper. The uncle who was the life of the party, the kind of person that people just wanted to be around. He was particularly good with kids. He would have been a great dad, as his partner Ian has since been to my kids. Looking back, I can never even remember wondering why Derek and Ian were both men. It just seemed normal to me as a kid. And unfortunately, it didn't seem normal to the adults in my family, at least at first. My grandfather in particular, a man I acknowledged in my first speech as being one of the biggest influences in my life, struggled greatly with this. He was a conservative man, a pillar of the Queensland country town that I grew up in, active in his church, a committee man for decades, a man who told me that Joh Bjelke-Petersen was the best thing that ever happened to Queensland. Other members of my family counselled my uncle not to come out to my grandfather. Remember, this was the Queensland of the 1980s, a different place to Australia of today. But he did come out, and it wasn't a smooth process. It was not instant acceptance. People didn't change their firmly held views overnight. But our family took the same journey that so many other Australians have in recent times, a path to acceptance and then love. So slowly, Derek became part of our family. It's a good thing too, as the family had some very difficult times. It's a horrific thing to watch someone die from AIDS. Particularly horrific in the Queensland of the 1980s and 90s. To have to do so not only with the horrors of the illness, but the indignities and horrors of a lack of recognition from the society around you. To have to deal with being beaten by hateful thugs in the street while your body was destroying itself from the inside. My grandfather wasn't an emotionally expressive man. Like many men from 1950s country Queensland, he showed his love through deeds, not words. So as Derek's body wasted away, he showed his love by turning up to their home uninvited to do DIY jobs on things in the house that didn't need to be fixed. It was a journey that so many Australians have taken, a journey from ignorance and hate to understanding and love. Derek planned his own funeral, and I hated it because it was a party, a celebration of his life. I hated it because I didn't think that people should have been happy at this occasion. But it was a party that he planned with a political message. Red ribbons were ubiquitous at the event. And I know that in light of the last 24 hours that he would have wanted me to deliver a political message in the chamber here today. He would have wanted me to say to Senator Abetz, do not claim to understand what gay Australians want. Do not tell them what they do and don't want. Do not use the law to deny them the equal right to choose the same recognition for their relationships as heterosexual couples. People like Senator Abetz and the Prime Minister are rightly viewed as anachronistic jokes on this issue by the majority of Australians. The absurd references to Dolce & Gabbana in yesterday's coalition party room will reinforce this. Believe it or not all gay men are Italian fashion designers. But we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that while laughable, we are dealing with serious issues of human dignity and legal discrimination in this debate. We shouldn't lose sight of the fact that the LGBTI rights movement in Australia is a serious cause with serious consequence for LGBTI Australians, a cause that has experienced some very difficult times in Australia in the past decades, and a cause that all of us in this place should treat very seriously in our representations.